Hello my friends, and welcome to this Prague vlog. I love the fact that that freaking rhymes, but I of course went over there to visit my family and go to the Sleep Token concert. So if you watched that video, this is the whole rest of my travels and trip, but I started in LA of course. We had about like 15 hours of travel to kill, so I absolutely tore my way through fire and blood, made some good progress on there before we got to London, like T-minus 9 hours later, T+. Anyways, I was so sad being here, not only because they seized my deodorant at security, thanks Heathrow, but because I miss London so freaking badly, and I really want to go back. And I don't know if y'all have ever flown British Airways, especially coming out of London, but the music that they're playing on here, I felt like I was in an episode of The Crown, y'all. We just had a 2-hour flight to Prague, but... And we made it. 2.5-ish, not even, 2+ hours later, whatever, we were there. And at this point, my biggest obstacle was kicking in, folks, because the time difference here, the jet lag, essentially when they're waking up in the Czech Republic, that's when we're going to sleep over here in Los Angeles, so I had to battle. But of course, look at that. It was so scenic, so beautiful, and I had never been to Prague at this time of year. Admittedly, since my family lives there, this is my 3rd time ever going to the Czech Republic, but I had to rally. I had to fight the jet lag, so I went out with my sister-in-law bright up and early, trying to just act normal, get my bodily clock somewhat in check. I had to immediately, first things first, hunt down a chai tea in a cafe. That was like the one thing I wanted to accomplish on this trip. And of course, on that Friday we went to go see Sleep Token. I lived my best freaking life. It was the best night freaking ever. Shout out once again to my brother for going with me. Literally epic and amazing, and I made him take these photos of me afterwards. He was such a good sport. Then my brother and sister-in-law treated me to a true European, the true Prague experience. Luckily, my jet lag was coming in clutch. All of this is to say, we went out that night till 5 o'clock in the morning, but I had had a Red Bull earlier that evening, and my bodily clock thought it was like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, so this was maybe the best night out of my life, because I was rallied. But I made a promise to my family the next day that I was gonna get up and frickin' rally and go visit the Prague castle with them, and let's just say I was fighting through that, y'all. But we made it. I was alive. I persevered and powered through, and I was especially excited because I have seen the Prague castle before, but I went like in a kind of, not rushed visit the first time I was ever there, but I wasn't able to fully really necessarily appreciate it. I was a bit distracted. It was my brother's wedding the next day, let's just put it that way, the last time I was ever here, so I didn't get to fully take it in, but this is me trying and failing to fit the whole thing into my camera, y'all. But I was geeking out, just taking in and absolutely admiring the Baroque architecture here on the outside. This entire building is freaking old, y'all. This is, I believe, founded in like the 9th century. It has been here for a hot minute. The stained glass windows are an absolute highlight of this place. Truly was fangirling over all of those. And I'm not capturing this full place, doing it justice. If you go to Prague, this is a must-see. I just was obsessed with the late afternoon sunlight hitting that architecture, y'all. It was beautiful. Ignore the dirty window that I'm looking through here, but of course they also had beautiful views of the city. The one thing though that blew my mind was after you take in all of that ancient, gorgeous art, you walk outside to a frickin' Starbucks, y'all. Like, really? Oh my goodness. I'm sorry, but I just found that absolutely hysterical that you could be touring one of the most archaic, one of the oldest man-made pieces of architecture in the history of the world, and then walk outside to a freaking Starbucks. But check out this absolutely gorgeous view of the city before the sunset, y'all, and then look at the freaking moon that night on our walk home. Oh, it was amazing. A few days later, I went out to lunch with my sister-in-law, and I really was just hoping for some experiences exactly like this, just some cozy afternoon dates with her, since I don't get to see her too much, and she is a fellow Sweet Treat fan like me, so of course we had to go get our little coffees and teas, and then we finished off with this typical Czech dessert. I don't know how to pronounce it, so there's the name, y'all. I literally studied on Duolingo for frickin' that many days, and you want to know how much I can speak? Nothing! Yeah, I feel like a little bit of a failure that I can't frickin' say much. It's a very difficult language to learn, y'all, but anyway, I went out shopping with my sister later that week, casually walked past one of the coolest buildings I've ever seen, and then we went to go get some pre-dinner glasses of wine. I wish I remembered what this was because it was so freaking delicious. It was also like $22. My brother eventually rendezvoused with us before dinner for yet another pre-dinner little beverage to warm the bones. Did I mention, by the way, y'all, that it was absolutely freaking freezing here on this trip? Not only was I battling the jet lag, but I was battling the freezing cold. Temperatures that I'm not equipped to handle out here in my frickin' Los Angeles blood that has gone thin. Oh, I wanted to literally just stand right next to that fire, y'all. I'm not kidding. It was cold here, but one thing about Prague is they take their beer very seriously. Look at that foam, y'all. Apparently you can order it to have, like, the foam is purposeful. My brother was telling me here, like, he made me get footage of this guy pouring out specifically because these bartenders literally have to go take, like, professional certification. Look at that foam. Like, apparently you literally need to be professionally certified and educated in order to make these pours, and he was telling me, like, this bartender is the only one. Like, you have to be specifically certified to get these pours with all of that foam. I don't know. Anyway, we went out to dinner at this place called Sia, like the singer, and it was an amazing, my favorite meal of this trip. Look at all that dim sum, y'all. I don't really eat this that much out here in LA, even though I should, but it was absolute fire and flames. But just like that, my visit was over. Of course, look at all this freaking Pilsner that they have on the way out at the airport, and I had to snag my absolute favorite, chocolate with friggin' hazelnuts from Milka. It was an amazing trip, but I was definitely looking forward to getting back home to warm weather and getting my biological clock reset. I had the road to myself, y'all. What a blessing. First thing I had to do, absolutely no questions asked, when I got back to the US of A, baby, I needed frickin' Taco Bell because I needed that Baja Blast flowing through my jet-lagged veins. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. Sorry, quick little vlog today, but that was a little bit of my travels and why I've been AWOL. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys again very, very soon.